Today, we're going to break down one of the most incredible stories to come out of the real estate world in a long time. It's about how one single, pretty radical idea managed to completely flip an entire industry on its head. And it happened so fast, it'll make your head spin.
You know, trying to get a huge industry to change course is like trying to turn a battleship. It's supposed to be this slow, monumental effort. You're talking about getting every major player to completely reverse their thinking on a core belief.
But what if I told you that battleship turned on a dime? I'm talking about a complete 180 in less than a month. Yeah, that's exactly what just happened in real estate. It's an amazing story about how quickly things can change when an idea's time has finally come. So let's get into it.
Okay, so first, to really get what happened, you got to understand the way things used to be. Before all this, the rules for selling a home were, well, they were incredibly rigid.
The system basically worked like this. If you put your home on the multiple listing service, the MLS, it was then automatically, and I mean mandatorily, sent everywhere. All the big websites, all the portals. You, the seller, had absolutely no choice in the matter. It was a strict one-size-fits-all rule that had been standard forever.
And then, this group called the American Real Estate Association, or the ARA, they came along with a very simple but totally disruptive idea.
They called it clear collaboration, and the concept was pretty straightforward. They said, sure, agents should still have to put listings on the MLS. That keeps things transparent. But, and this is the absolute game changer, they argued that sellers should get to choose where else their home gets marketed. The power suddenly shifts from the system back to the client.
And this right here really lays out the massive difference. On one side, you've got the old way. Forced, rigid, everyone does the same thing. And on the other, you have this new idea, choice, flexibility, and putting the seller in the driver's seat. It's a fundamental shift from mandate to option.
Now, as you can probably guess, an idea that shakes things up this much was not met with a welcome party. The established industry, they push back, and they push back hard.
The backlash was pretty intense. People accused the ARA of just disrupting for disruption's sake. You heard things like, the industry isn't ready for this. Some people even claimed sellers didn't need more choices and called the whole idea a war on transparency. The resistance felt like a solid brick wall.
But then, something truly remarkable happened. That brick wall didn't just get a crack in it. It completely crumbled, and it happened with just breathtaking speed.
So what was it? What was the spark that lit the fuse? How did this radical, controversial idea suddenly become the new gold standard for the entire industry?
This is where the dominoes start to fall, and they fall fast. First, Compass and Redfin announce a partnership, then Zillow, a company that had been vocally against this kind of thing, launches its own version with huge players like Keller Williams and RE/MAX, and right on their heels, eXp Realty announces their plan. Boom, boom, boom. One after another, the biggest names in the business all reversed course and started marching in the exact same direction. And then you started to hear the language from the top completely change. Just listen to this from Gary Keller. He says sellers should have the opportunity if they choose to do so. That little phrase, if they choose, that's everything. That's the core of the very idea that they had all been fighting against.
And here's another one, this time from eXp Realty, talking about creating the most open and efficient marketplace. I mean, this was the exact language the ARA had been using from the beginning, and now it was being championed by the very giants who had resisted it. The ideological flip was complete.
So in just a matter of weeks, what was once a controversial, radical idea became the industry's new North Star. It was stunning. 30 days. That is literally all it took for the entire real estate industry to pivot and embrace seller choice. Just an absolutely incredible turnaround.
At this point, the debate was officially over. The idea that was once seen as a dangerous challenge to the system was now being rolled out by pretty much every major company you can think of. The idea had won, plain and simple.
So now that the dust has settled and the debate is over, what's next? What does all of this actually mean for the future of buying and selling homes?
Well, it's really important to see the ARA's role clearly here. They weren't the ones building the new platforms or making the big corporate deals. They were the architects of the idea. They gave a voice to thousands of agents, they articulated a clear vision for what a modern market should look like, and they made the case that more flexibility is just better for clients.
And so the industry moves on. The why has been settled. Everyone's on board. Now the new challenge is the how. How do all these new products and partnerships actually create a better experience for the everyday person buying or selling a home?
The focus is shifting from theory to practice.
Which leaves us with the really big question, right? The entire industry pivoted in a month, and they're all united behind this new philosophy of choice. But will this revolution actually lead to a better, more efficient market for all of us? Or was changing the rules the easy part? Well, that's the next chapter, and it's still waiting to be written.